everybody, and welcome to day 4 of this chilling challenge. Today's category is underrated villain, and guess who couldn't decide on just one? It's me. I couldn't. So here are a few of my favorite underrated villains. Alameda Slim from Home on the Range. It seems that everyone except me and the princess hates this movie, and I don't really know why. It's got really wonderful 2D animation, some awesome voice acting, and genuinely funny moments. Is it Beauty and the Beast? No, but there aren't really a lot of Beauty and the Beast level films. Home on the Range is a comedy, with just enough serious moments for you to feel emotionally attached to the cows. I mean the characters. And Alameda Slim is the perfect villain for that narrative. He's the perfect balance between silly and competent, frightening and comical. His design is pretty cool, his sidekicks are funny, and I'm not gonna spoil it for those of you who haven't seen it, but his superpower is hysterical and ridiculous. The MCP from Tron. A tad more obscure, Tron came out in 1982 and is a mix of live action and computer animation. Groundbreaking special effects, and is actually what inspired John Lasseter to see the potential of computer animation. The villain in Tron is the MCP, the Master Control Program. The MCP is a form of AI that started out as a chess program, but got smarter and smarter and eventually became a super powerful program that keeps everybody else in the grid oppressed. The energy that he has with the protagonist Flynn is interesting too, because even with the short scenes that they have with one another, it's clear that they have history. Played by David Warner, there's something ruthless and elegant about the MCP that we don't usually see in male Disney villains, who almost always have this creepiness factor to them. He has all of Frollo's capability and presence without sexually harassing female programs. Madame Medusa from The Rescuers. So the princess hasn't seen The Rescuers, which is just unfortunate because it's a cute and heartwarming movie. What else when you have the Mouse United Nations saving kidnapped children? Madame Medusa is said kidnapper in The Rescuers, having snatched a New York orphan girl named Penny, because there's this really big diamond in what is obviously a Louisiana bayou in an underwater cave that only Penny can get into. It sounds really complicated when I say it like that. The movie was originally planned to be a sequel for 101 Dalmatians, and that idea was eventually scrapped, but you can still see Cruella de Vil's influence on Madame Medusa's design. Animated by Milt Kahl, one of Disney's 9 old men. He based Medusa on his ex-wife, who he obviously wasn't very fond of. Medusa is scary. She's physically intimidating. She doesn't just endanger a kid's life for a diamond, she's also mean to her in her spare time. She's also willing to murder said child. And she's also got trained pet alligators. Medusa is a nasty piece of work. On to another Milt Kahl villain, Shere Khan from The Jungle Book. I obviously like villains that are elegant and have deep English accents, but I think by far he has the best reason to be evil. After all, man is destroying his home, so it makes sense for him to hate humans in general. And since the trailer for the live-action Jungle Book was released, so hype! I'm super pumped for Idris Elba to take on this role. Fun fact, Mowgli was originally supposed to shoot Shere Khan, like with a gun! But someone with a brain thought it would be a bad idea to show a child shoot an animal with a gun in a children's movie. So we have our current ending instead. Rourke is a cool villain because he's not just a brute that thrives on the darkness of the universe. He's just greedy. All he cares about is being rich, and he's willing to extinguish a civilization that he sees as inferior to do it. Pretty strong argument for anti-imperialist and anti-capitalist sentiment in this movie. His backstory is really intense. Joined the military when he was 15, refused to acknowledge the white flag of surrender at the Wounded Knee Massacre, fought in the Spanish-American War, expert marksman. Tommy Lee Jones, Jack Davenport, and Kurt Russell were all considered at one point to play this role. I think Tommy Lee Jones could play him in a live-action adaptation of this movie. Do you hear me, Disney? Live-action Atlantis would be awesome! Not another Mary Poppins! That's not a thing we need. Then again, live-action Atlantis is basically Stargate, which is also why I think it's funny that Kurt Russell was considered for this role. And saving the best for last, Yzma from Emperor's New Groove. Like Madame Medusa, Yzma's design was inspired by Cruella de Vil, voiced by the amazing Eartha Kitt. Yzma was also based off the Peruvian singer Yzma Sumac, particularly when it came to her lavish outfits. Yzma is hilarious. Eartha Kitt just brings so much life and energy into her character. Barbra Streisand was planned to be the original voice, and I love you so much. Hello Dolly means everything to me. I think Eartha Kitt was the perfect choice. Yzma is also one of the few female villains to physically fight the protagonist in their movie. In what is probably one of the funniest scenes in movie history, Yzma turns into a cat towards the end of the movie. This is actually a reference to Eartha Kitt's famous role as Catwoman in the 1966 Batman series. And there you have it! What villain do you think doesn't get enough love? And why do you think they should? Or hate? Do we hate or love villains? Do we love to hate them? I will see you tomorrow. Don't talk to me about Tron Legacy. It was ridiculous and far more complicated than it needed to be.